I'm Jonah with Magnanimous Media, and today we're going to be talking about the Red Rock Field Deluxe bundle. I'm going to be setting it up with the 5D package. So, the first thing we want to do is take out our lens, and with the video we'll include a link to Red Rock's lens gear sizing, and that's how you determine what lens gear you'll be using with the follow focus system on this. We are going to be using, I believe it is the C with this Canon EF lens. So you just place it right on your focus adjuster. And you don't want to get it too tight, but just snug enough to where it's not going to slip. Okay, so once we've got that on, we can go ahead and mount it onto the camera body. Okay, so now with the camera assembled, we're going to mount it onto this DSLR mount, which only works with DSLRs. Now, the first thing you want to notice on this is that there's a register pin. And this pin is in here for the 5D, but it's also has other pins included with the package that can work with other Canon models, as well as some Nikon models. But we're going to leave this one in for the 5D. And it's important that we put this on before we slide it onto the rail system, just because it makes it a lot easier to line up that register pin and get it in there snug. So you'll see the hole is right here. So now we're going to go ahead and attach it to the rail system. And you want to get it right up snug against the back of this, because we're going to need plenty of room for the follow focus and then the support bar on the front. Just tighten that up, and you don't need to get it too snug, it'll hold pretty well, so don't over tighten it. The next part that we're going to attach is the follow focus. And what it has on here is the bottom adjusts where your gear is going to hit, and then the one on the side adjusts the clamp on the rails. Just line it up right with the gear and tighten it to the rail. And now what we're going to want to do is to adjust the gear so that it's hitting your lens gear. And what you want to do is get it snug up against it and then let it back off a little bit. Because what that does is when you're tightening the follow focus to the gear, if it's in snug when you tighten it, it'll be too tight on the lens gear and you'll end up with lens torque when you're adjusting your focus. Okay, so now that that's on, we're going to go ahead and slide on the support bar. Just tightens right up. Okay, now the next part we're going to put on is the handle and then the counterweight. Now the counterweight, it's adjustable. You can adjust it side to side depending on where your weight is on the front of the body. And basically what it does is just put less weight on your hands so you can have smoother motion while you're shooting those handheld shots. So once you've got your counterweight on, we're ready to put the monitor on. Obviously with the DSLR, with all of this on, you can't see the monitor very well, so you're going to need some kind of assist so that you can focus the camera properly and see what you're shooting. What's included with this package is the Marshall VLCD 70XP. It's a standard definition monitor, but it's 7-inch, so you've got plenty of size, and we've worked with it and it allows you to focus really well. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and mount this. So the front support rail should already come with the attachment for the monitor. The front screw tightens it to the rail, and the back tightens it to the monitor so your monitor is secure. Now we do have some battery options with this monitor. The first attachment that we send out with it is for the Panasonic battery, which is going to work with your HVX, HPX, and we like these just because they're small and they're lightweight. The other option that we have are the Anton Bauer Gold battery, which is pretty heavy. And this system actually does mount to the back of the monitor, so that's going to put in a lot of weight right on the front of your rig, which you want to avoid. But the option is there, and the battery does last for a very long time, so it is a good option if you're going to be shooting all day and you don't want to swap out batteries. We are going to stick with the Panasonic battery. Okay. Now once that's on, we're ready to rock and roll. Switch it to battery on the monitor, and we're going to go ahead and turn on the Canon 5D. And it'll automatically sync with the camera. And obviously to see what you're looking at, you just hit your shutter open button on the camera. And there's your image. So the first function of this rig is to allow you to use a DSLR like you would a video camera. So you've got your familiar setup with your monitor in front of you and your follow focus on this side. The secondary thing that this rig does is, like I was talking about, puts more weight on the back so that you have less weight on your hands and you can move more smoothly. So that's the 5D setup. Now if you want to use the T2i on it, the only difference that you're going to have is that you're going to remove this register pin. There's not actually a spot on this DSLR plate that fits the hole, the register pin hole on the T2i. So you just remove this pin, don't put anything on it, and then just tighten it down and make sure it's straight and directly aligned with the gears on your follow focus before you start shooting. So now we're going to move on to the new camera, which is the AF100. The AF100 is going to use a similar arrangement, it's just slightly different. You're going to want to make sure that the weight is touching the back of your shoulder pad. And it's going to use a little different setup. It's going to use the quick release base plate. So you won't actually be using this, which is only for the DSLR rigs. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and slide this on. Butt it up right against the other one and tighten it down to the rails. Now we're going to attach the camera. There's no lens on it yet. And tighten it down to the base plate. So once we got that on, we're ready to pick the right lens gear for the lens and attach it. So the lens that comes standard with the AF100 is the Lumix 14-140. The benefit of this lens is that you can actually use the autofocus on the AF100 with it because it's a Panasonic lens, so they talk to each other. So this is going to be a lens gear size B. Okay, once your lens gear is on, you can attach it to the body of the camera. And now we'll attach the follow focus. So the same goes for your follow focus on this as it does for using it with the DSLRs. Once you've got the gears aligned, put it snug and then back it off just a little bit so that when you tighten your adjuster down, it doesn't move in too much to the lens so you don't get lens torque when you are adjusting your focus and shooting. So now we're going to attach the front bracket. And our monitor. And this camera actually can output from the regular sized HDMI cable as well as other formats. So because the AF100 uses interchangeable lenses, you don't have that zoom servo, but this lens does have the autofocus, so the other thing you can do is move your follow focus back onto your zoom, and then you have a little bit more control over that while setting the camera to autofocus. Again, the other benefit of using the camera on this rig is that you can get some weight on the back with the counterweight, which allows you to have smoother motion when you're going handheld. So remember, don't over tighten anything on this rig. You don't need to, everything clamps down really tight. So over tightening it, you're gonna end up stripping it out, which we don't want. If you have any questions about the rig or have any requests for attachments, there's a number of attachments that come with this rig. You can send us an email at rentals@magnanimous.biz. Follow us on Facebook for our new additions and follow us on Twitter.